Today I'm joined by Crazium, a world builder who has created a very intriguing social experiment here in VR Chat. Thank you for joining me, Crazium.
Hello, I'm Crazium. I am a VR Chat world content creator, and I primarily make worlds focused on either game centric or social experiment, uh, kind of interesting experiences to allow people to interact with worlds that have not been possible in VR Chat or haven't been done in VR Chat before.
Please explain what your motivation was when creating This World Will Be Deleted in 24 Hours.
So this world actually has an interesting start because about 6 months prior to making the world, I made an avatar called We All Go One Day, where the avatar, over the span of being in an instance for about 30 minutes, would slowly dissolve and dissipate away. And so I always thought, oh, this would be a very neat idea for a world, just like a world where people could either destroy or save the world. Um, and then about 6 months after making that avatar, talking to a friend about it, they were like, "Oh yeah, that idea would totally be possible. You just gotta do this, this, and this." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, time for me to get to work."
As the clock runs out here in the world, elements of the world change. What's that all about?
So originally the idea for the world is we would I think the first idea I ever had for the world was that it was just going to be kind of a timer in the void, and really nothing much more special about it. Where it was the same concept, but I kind of wanted to add on more to that. I wanted to make it more special. And kind of make people want to see the lower hours, but also want to keep the world alive. So just adding content where if you manage to actually see the lower hours, it's something that maybe nobody else has ever seen before.
What do you think entices players to push that button?
Human psychology. People love pressing big red buttons, and it was even proved during like one of my play tests. Just one of my friends joined off of me, and before even explaining the concept of the world or anything to them, they just said, "Ooh, shiny red button," ran forward and pressed it and reset the timer without a second thought. And I imagine that a lot of people have had a similar thought where they just join in the world. They're like, "Oh, red button, I love pressing those." And and so like before they even know that it resets the timer, what it does, the button is enticing to press.
Absolutely. Oh, oh! Someone pressed the
Cool.
button.
Oh, there, there it is. We're back up to 23 hours. Oh.
So explain to the viewer right now what just happened because we didn't press the button.
So the interesting thing about this world that is not seen in a lot of other worlds is cross-instance compatibility. So neither of us pressed the button, and there's nobody else in this instance, which means that somebody, whether they're just in a public instance or a private instance, they just went forward and ran the press the button, and it resets it for everyone. So.
Do you think players would ever just let the timer run out?
In the end, it could even come down to just one person, one very determined person. If they wanted to keep the world alive every single day, they could press the button and just single-handedly keep it alive. But if they ever miss a day, then poof, the world's gone.
What is it you're trying to convey with this social experiment?
So it's interesting because I feel like the within world message that of the kind of "we all go one day" type of phrasing, it's not initially what I intended on conveying with the world. So the world's message actually is a bit different than I guess my own personal message or just kind of experiment. Because originally I always found with the worlds that I produced, it's you get like 1 or 2 weeks of traction, and then they just kind of die off, and you see zero people in them constantly. So it's kind of like, how long does a VR chat world last exactly? How long until it's truly fully forgotten and nobody visits it? And so it's, I mean, knowing that at least one person has to come into the world every 24 hours, just checking on it daily, means that it's never truly forgotten yet. It's interesting because we have a bot set up where if it ever reaches zero, I just get a ping on Discord, and assuming if I'm awake, I can just immediately pull out my phone, just scroll to go on VR chat, and just delete the world from there. And I've always said I do it without hesitation. In one way, it's kind of funny because a lot of people ask me like, why do you put so much effort into uh, worlds that last such a small time? I mean, placeholder was only 2 weeks. This is a questionable amount of time how long it'll last, but one day it will be gone. I always like making these worlds that feel like events, like you have to be there to experience it. You have worlds that will last forever and all of that, but it's always those small things where it's like I didn't get to even see what the world was before it was deleted, that it's just you had to be there to see it.
So, very exciting news. On November 10th, you'll be hosting a 24-hour event where you will be disabling the world reset button. This will force players to watch this experiment to its completion. What's exciting about that for you?
Ooh, as an artist, the main thing I'm excited about is being able to finally share things that are in the lower hours, because in full honesty, I consider the first couple hours, the most common hours that people have seen, to be the most boring hours. They have the fewest changes, they affect the world the least, but it's once you start getting into those lower hours, the world just starts changing quite a bit, and I'm excited for people to finally be able to see those. And yeah, as an artist, it hurts me that nobody's ever seen, like, I'd say 70% of the work that's been put into this world.
How do you expect viewers to react?
It's interesting because the ending is kind of one of acceptance, in my opinion. There's a as the hours keep getting lower and lower, there's a clear message in the world that is very prevalent and stated like multiple times, and it's kind of once you get to that ending, it's I feel as if it's kind of that final message once again, and it's kind of an acceptance that the world has finally been deleted and is gone.
So, wrapping things up here, I wanted to ask if there was anything you wanted to plug or promote.
The main places where I promote all of my stuff is mainly on Twitter at Crazium Game, or Twitter X at Crazium Games. I also have a VR chat group for all of my projects. So if you ever are interested in whenever I'm doing playtests, open playtests to the public, or whenever I'm showing off a new world, or just when I'm releasing a world, I always throw out notifications in the group. I believe the group is just called the Crazco Community. It's Crazco.0.311. And yeah, those are the best places to find out all of what I'm working on.
Well, Crazium, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and I really look forward to seeing your world play out to completion at the Raindance Immersive Festival. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, thank you for the interview. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait for people to be able to see all 24 hours.